What's up, guys? It's Brian here, and today I am bringing you guys a mock video. I haven't built a mock this large since the Jakku mock. This is not nearly as big as Jakku, and it only took me about a week to build. However, I put a lot of effort into this, and I was going to do a building series on this mock. However, I ended up building it so quickly that I didn't have time to, I didn't really want to drag it out as much. However, this is a battle on Geonosis. Theoretically, it would take place during the first Battle of Geonosis that we see in Attack of the Clones. This is my own spin on it. This is my own little sector of a battle. It has a base and a little battlefield. But without further ado, guys, let me show you the details of this mock. You can see me zoomed into this clone trooper on the mountain over here, and you saw the thumbnail of a clone on a mountain. But here is the mock almost in its entirety. It's a very long mock and very tall. It is a total of 3 gray base plates long, so it's 3 by 1 gray base plate. It has a mountain going all the way up to the top where there is an ATTE. Sorry about the background stuff, you can't really see the ATTE too well. ATTE is up here, and it is shooting down at the droids who are all down here. The interior, which I'll show you in a minute, is a separatist base, or at least a cutout of a separatist base. And Delta Squad is in the base. They've just torn apart some of the bottom section. They're about to steal some files from up here and disable a jamming device. And then they're going to come up an elevator to the top and meet up with Coyote-Mundis up there with the Delta Advisor and the Commander. I know that's not coming out too well, but I'll show it in greater detail in just a minute. So coming all the way down here, there's Legion of Droid. These clones just descended. I'm going to take this off the tripod. I feel like it's getting annoying. These clones just descended the mountain with this random custom female Jedi. So the captain's down there with some lieutenants, as well as some regular old Phase 1 clones. This spider droid just came from like that section over here. He's going to try to climb up the mountain. He just shot at that clone over there. There are these strings that are coming down the mountain that the clones descended from, all the way from the top, where the ATT is stationed. One of my goals with this mock was to make like a 3-stepped mountain, where I had 1 step, 2 step, and then it would come all the way to the top. I kind of failed at making this one very wide, but I think it came out pretty cool in the end. And then the droid legion is down here with a homing spider droid, an AAT, and there's a dead Octoptara droid over there, as well as some reinforcements are on the way. So that's the general storyline. So without ado, let me get straight into all the details of this mock. Alright guys, so coming to a more of a side angle, you can kind of see the battle lined up over here, the mountain going straight up, and then the interior of the base in here, which has a MTT that's been demolished with a little garage. I'll show those details in a minute. As well as Delta Squad up in this comm center, doing their thing, and they're about to come up this elevator, up to the top, where they're going to meet up with Coyote-Mundi, the Delta Advisor, and the Clone Commander. This is a landing pad up here, a separatist landing pad that would theoretically go down into this base. And the ATTE is way at the top of this mountain. He's got a nice aerial view of the battle, and that cannon is aiming for the heart of that homing spider droid up there. Lieutenant's manning that cannon. There's a lieutenant with a sniper up here, with a big old sniper scope. There's a lieutenant with a bazooka down there. He's actually trying to take out that spider droid down there. It's way down there. Obviously, the spider droid just took out that clone. Another clone's descending from the mountain up here. That string goes all the way down. This one goes right down to the 2nd level, where there are 2 lieutenants with shields and sniper rifles up here, trying to take aim at some droids. And coming all the way down, again, more regular clones. This one has more of a heavy repeating cannon. Most of the Phase 1 clones, the regular ones, have Clone Army Custom DC-17 blasters. And this female Jedi is using Saesee Tiin's body, actually, with Jyn Erso's hair. I mean, Jyn Erso's face with a different hair. So that's just the random Jedi Knight. And here's some droids over here. Not a whole lot of droids, but they have some heavy artillery. Again, that Octoptara droid was just destroyed. This AAT is shooting up the mountain. The homing spider droid is approaching quick, with a legion of battle droids coming this way. And there's a lone Geonosian back there. He's the only Geonosian I have, so I didn't really want to put an army of Geonosians in this mock. I almost bought a bunch of them, but they were too expensive. I didn't really care to get them. Plus, the mock works without them, I think, anyway. And here are two little custom droid carriers that I designed that would theoretically come from a dropship, like those little Technic pieces at the top would hook into a dropship. And there's a commander giving them instructions to, you know, get to the battle. So each of these little these little platforms is completely identical, with 8 droids on them total, 6 battle droids, 2 supers. And let's see other details over here. There's a dead droid over there. Some little fire elements. I guess he was knocked over during the Octoptara droid was destroyed. This has a good amount of damage on here as well. And let's see. While I'm down here, I'll take a look at the little nature details, which, you know, nature meaning Geonosis, it's a desert. So to distinguish this desert from previous desert MOCs I've done, I wanted to add more like rocky, uneven terrain to this desert. So like you can see how it kind of goes up, and it does go down over here a little bit. And then it goes up again and again all the way till it's 1 brick high over here. I added some random like jagged rock structures. I think they came out pretty cool. Like in the dark tan section there's some jagged rocks and they're scattered throughout. You can kind of see where I'm pointing to. Another section back there with some rocks, and one last section over here with a bunch of rock detailing. So I think that it all came out really cool down here. A lot of dark tan scattered in there as well, and a whole bunch of cheese slopes as well, all scattered about to make it more Geonosian, if you will, because Geonosis is a very rocky planet, as well as being a desert. So the mountain details, obviously I got all these mountain pieces for Jakku, so nothing new, except I did add my tan elements. I bought these tan elements for Order 66 Part 3 to make Jedha City, and I was able to reuse them in this mountain. So the mountain comes up, what is that, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 bricks high up to here, where this long platform of just, like, it's a little plateau, I suppose. The mountain kind of comes down and then juts out a little bit and comes back down. Perfect position for some snipers up here. And you can see the rock work and the tan going all the way along. I really love the tan look of this mountain. I love this blending I was able to accomplish with just throwing in some random tan and dark tan bricks, or sloped bricks, into this mountain. I think it came out really neat, as well as like the cheese slopes. They add so much little Geonosis details that I thought were really cool. And then this mountain comes up 3, 6, 9, 12, again, 15 bricks to these two platforms were originally supposed to be the same size. However, I made this one way too wide, so this one ended up being really short up here. However, I think it gives a cool effect. It gives more of like a random feel to the nature. So this clone is just on his way down, but he's shooting as well. And so is that one. More interesting techniques used along here to make the tiny little plateau with tan plates and cheese slopes and tiles in there a little bit. And then this one is 3, 6, 9 bricks high, going up to the very top. Well, I guess you could say 11, because if you count this up here. And the Separatists flatten this space out up here to make this platform, which doesn't have a whole lot of details. However, it would just be like a big giant landing pad for larger ships. So landing pads over here. Maybe you'd have like a legion of droids greeting whoever is coming into the base. But this ATTE doesn't care. It's standing on top of it. There's a pilot in the ATTE cockpit. Again, his cannon is pointing right down. You saw the angle I had before. He's aiming right for the homing spider droid. So hopefully he's going to take that out and save the day. Because these clones down there, they're kind of doomed. Not a lot of them against all this army, against all these droids, and the enforcements on the way. So coming all the way back up here. That clone's, again, got his bazooka over here. Nothing too crazy on the top besides near the elevator shaft, which goes down into the base. There's actually, you can see it very well, an identical control panel on the elevator and at the very top of the elevator. So like down there and up here. Kaede Munda's up here. If you've ever played Republic Commando, you know that like a regular Phase 1 clone is the Delta Squad's advisor. That he's always like in the ear of the commandos telling them what to do. So he's up here in the little command center, 2013 battle pack. Got some use out of it finally, as far as not just building a bigger one. And the yellow commander's up here as well, hanging out with the advisor. So I think that's the entirety of the outside. I really love the way that all of this tan came out, especially the way this mountain looks. I think it looks really good. And I love how tall it ended up being too. My premise with this originally was to have an ATTE on the top of a mountain. That was my goal from the start. I was like, all right, let's make a big giant mountain with an ATT on the top. And so I just kind of kept building. This battlefield was going to be shorter originally, but I ended up extending it a little bit. And I'm glad I did, because I was able to add those droid carriers to the back, which really add like a personal touch of my own to the space, because those are custom vehicles back there. So, I'm going to have to move this MOC a little bit to get to the inside so I can show you from better angles. Alright, so re-angled the MOC, readjusted my lights, and I'll show you the interior of this base. Some of you may know that I don't really like building interiors of bases. I really like doing outside details better than interior, so it took me a while to come up with what I would put in here. However, I think it ended up coming out really cool. The 4 support pillars are just 2x6s. You guys know I have a ton of 2x6s. I use them in everything. I just built up a little pole, added a tile in here to make some cool detail, and I built it all the way up to make the giant support pillars. So basically, that ATT is just sitting on these plates up here, as well as all these giant support pillars. Now, this base has 2 floors to it, at this little cross-section at least. The MTT garage, which has since been visited by Delta Squad, as you can clearly see, and this little comm center up here. Starting out down here with the MTT garage, here are some control panels that the pilots were manning. They were rushing to their gun racks when Delta Squad came. This one got his gun, but didn't last very long. I really like these computers down here. I think the designs for this little section came out nice and smooth. And I didn't tile the whole inside because I just don't like tiling the entirety of the inside. Plus, adding tile accents kind of looks cool. So there's that little gun rack with that ill-fated pilot. Up here, the MTT, which I kind of destroyed a little bit, opened up all the panels, added some flame details, because Delta Squad did some damage to it. There's that little droid that sits in that little section of the MTT. If you have this MTT, you know what I'm talking about, but that droid just got destroyed as well. And the racks are empty. Maybe they were loading up some droids. Maybe it was an unused MTT, I don't know. But still, the damage was done. Another droid over here was reaching for his gun at his little computer station, and he got destroyed. It's sitting between 2 black tile tracks that go all the way down. And this back wall actually came out really cool. I plated the entire thing because it has to hide the ugliness of the mountain. And then I added a whole bunch of just like random little details. I used these giant grate pieces and added some details around them. And then I just kind of started playing around with throwing random pieces in random places, and it kind of worked. This wall up here is a little destroyed. I'm guessing, again, Delta Squad came through. They do damage when they come through. So, I think this looks really cool. Let's see if I can get an angle from back here for you guys. So, I like the inside of this base a lot more than I thought I was going to. So, that is that back wall back there. And then we come up to the second floor, where Delta Squad is currently at. They probably came in from a door that's like over here, because I don't know if I'll be able to get a good angle over there for you guys. These droids were awaiting their arrival at the door, and then they just got immediately decimated. The pilot over there is destroyed on his computers, with the computers on the wall over there, as well as some crates. This little comm center in the middle, again, pilot that's dead. Super battle droid over there that's dead. They clearly used their door breach maneuver. Maybe that little mini-MOC I did was a prelude to this. Maybe they were breaching into this room. That's a possibility. And let's see, what is each Delta member doing? So Fixer is over here at this control center, disabling the jamming device. That's actually a plot point in Republic Commando. It's not at this exact location, but I made a little custom jamming device based loosely on the one from Republic Commando. So he's over here disabling that. Sev is over here with a little data disk stealing files from the computer in the middle, this giant computer console over here. It's pretty much the same on both sides, but I like how I designed it over there. Boss is telling everyone to hurry up because they're waiting for them upstairs. And Scorch is planting a bomb over on this little console over here. And I think that's it for the interior. You can see how I did some of these details over here. The elevator shaft is pretty basic. I like the computer detailing, especially over there with the paneling on the wall. There's some more paneling on that back wall, as well as the giant console in the middle. And again, they're about ready to take this elevator up to the top to meet up with the Jedi and the commanders. So, that's this base. And I think that's all the details. So let's flip the camera back around to the other angle. Flip the MOC around, I mean, and I'll end out the video. So guys, those are all the details for my Battle on Geonosis MOC, featuring Delta Squad in there. I really wanted to use Delta Squad in a larger MOC. I knew I wanted to do something with Geonosis. I was going to do something straight from Republic Commando, but I really wanted to try this technique of putting this ATTE, I don't even know if you can see that in frame, way up top this mountain and having a really cool, tall mountain battle. I thought this came out really neat. I love all my little details in the rock work. This is my best mountain I've ever done, for sure. And I'm also happy that I didn't spend a penny on this thing. I actually used parts just from my own collection. Most of the stuff came from the Jakku MOC that I did 3 years ago at this point. Wow, that was 3 years ago. So again, kind of a surprise little MOC. Didn't really tease this at all. I was thinking about doing a building series, but by the time I started working on it, I just couldn't stop working. So I ended up building it a lot quicker than I thought I was going to end up actually doing. So that's going to just about do it for this MOC video, guys. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave me a comment down below. And be sure to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys very much for watching. This has been Brian from Watermelon Studios. Peace out, guys.